Hi, welcome. Welcome, bloody welcome to the show, which is called
Sunday Chat.
I gave myself a haircut.
Did you?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it looks awful.
I think it's not too bad. It's a little shorter than usual. And I'm thinking of going even shorter.
Yeah, I am. It's only because I said I was going to.
I'm thinking of going for a pixie mullet.
What's a pixie mullet?
It's a pixie cut, but it's a mullet. Most pixie cuts are shaved up the back here and short, but the pixie mullet is long at the back and shorter on top.
Bit like Farrah Fawcett Majors.
No, that was a flick, Paul.
Oh.
Hello. No.
But wasn't it short here?
No, she had a flick.
Oh.
Farrah Fawcett. 70s flick. Oh, Paul, really? So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing because I'm getting a little bit bored with having long hair now. And I always love the mullet. I think the mullet style suits me.
Are you going to dye it red?
No.
Are you going to dye it blue?
No, I'm staying natural.
Oh my.
Silver. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you're new to our channel, then I'm sorry. I apologise. Well, we've had a few people say I accidentally found you. I don't know what I'm watching. Well,
really?
Yeah,
What?
You're clearly a moron then.
Well, they can turn off, can't they?
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? So, anyway, we always start the show with Richard and Paul's weather report. Paul, what is the weather like at the moment? Well, thank you for asking. It's cold, mild, cold, damp, cold, dry.
Breezy.
They keep saying it's mild. It's very mild for the time of year. 15 degrees. Doesn't feel like that in the house.
No. Alex Deakin was on the BBC News, doing the weather, and he was going on about this plume of warm weather, and it's going to feel mild and get up to 16, 17 degrees. And then right at the end, he said something like, "It will be breezy, and that may bring the temperatures down a little." Didn't
Yeah,
he?
you're telling me.
Yesterday, I went to the plot yesterday afternoon, having watched Alex Deakin give the weather forecast, and I went out, got halfway to the plot, and I thought, I need another layer on. I really do, because it was the breeze that was really chilling. It was cold. Yeah.
Well, this time last year was icy.
Was it?
And frosty. Yeah, because a memory came up on my Facebook.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't like those Facebook memories because sometimes it brings up memories that you don't want to remember.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, it was frosty and very cold this time last year. So I suppose we should be grateful, Paul.
Well, I am
Shouldn't
grateful.
we? Are you? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the fact that you're such a wonderful person, Richard. And that you make so many people happy. And that you make me happy too. Is that right?
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's sweet, Paul. Even though none of it's the truth. So, yeah, it is grey. It's very grey. I mean, I can see a little bit of blue sky over there, but it's breezy and grey. And, the house and outside appear to be the same temperature at the moment. So it's 15 degrees inside and it's 15 degrees outside. I think we should be opening all of the windows.
Well, let that breeze go through.
Let that breeze come through.
Yeah, as long as it's not raining, because we don't want the house to get wet inside.
No,
as well.
It's already damp enough. There are challenges. It's all well and good people saying, oh, turn your heating off. Heat the person, not the home. How do you dry your clothes?
And of course, these houses, they do retain warmth in the walls. They absolutely do. But over a period of time, that dissipates. And I think it's dissipated quicker this year because of our use of energy this year. we got our bill the other day from Shell, and what did it say? We'd use 30% less electricity and 75% less gas.
Yeah,
That
so
seems
we're
significant.
really, I mean, you know, talk about not having heating on. We're really, really sticking to that.
As many people are.
You know, and we're sort of at the stage where we can work out how we can just about live relatively comfortable. You know, having to wear thermals and extra layers and all of that. And also, we've noticed that we're acclimatizing to this new way of feeling temperatures. So when we do have the heating on at, say, 17, it feels really warm. But we only have heating on for a certain length of time. Also, I've noticed that, you know, you can turn radiators on in a room, let them get up to temperature and then turn them off, and they actually stay quite warm for some time.
Well, they will do, yeah.
So to just sort of air a room quickly, that's something you can do. But we've only got about 4 radiators on, and a couple of those are on low. So yeah, we're managing and we're saving money, basically. We are saving money.
There we are.
We've worked out how much we can spend and how much leeway we've got if it does get colder, which it will do.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a cold winter.
But to go back to what I was saying, you know, it's all well and good this, but drying clothes is a bit of a nightmare. You've got to constantly turn them on the rack, you know, to make sure the air is flowing. Because you'll find things on the inside of the rack just don't dry very well. So I'm rotating things. I'm making sure that a window is opened regularly to make sure the air circulates as well.
Yeah, because it's partly airflow, isn't it? That does that.
Well, it's airflow and it's humidity levels. You know, if the humidity levels are high,
It won't dry as well.
they won't dry as well. So, you know, we have had high humidity in the past couple of weeks. It's dropped recently because I noticed the front door's not sticking as badly.
No, I noticed that.
Because
Yeah.
it's dried up a bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, before we get people saying, buy a dehumidifier, can't really afford one, really,
Didn't
and
our
justify
friend had
that.
one, didn't she?
Yeah, she got rid of it.
Did she?
Yeah, can't really afford one at the moment. Plus, you have to run it as well. You know,
Yeah.
I think we're running enough electrical items.
You
What
were
I
given
have-
a fan. You could just sit there with the washing and you could fan the washing.
What
couldn't
I
you?
have done is I cleared out part of the airing cupboard. So what I'm doing, even though the hot water's on minimally per day, it is quite warm and dry in there. So I've cleared a large space, and when things are almost dry, I'm putting them in there just to finish off, which seems to be working well. So it's about coming up with solutions for issues and thinking around them.
Well done, Richard.
Thank you, Paul.
You are so clever.
I know. People don't realise, but I'm... Yeah. Cleverer than I look.
Oh, yeah, well, that's not hard.
I might be one of God's blondes now, but I'm not a dumb blonde. Wish I was. I'd probably earn a lot more money.
Oh, dear.
I don't know what I meant by that.
No, I don't know what you meant. Oh, no. Yeah.
No.
Boobies came into my head then.
Yeah,
Is that
if I was
funny?
a dumb blonde,
Yeah.
I'd probably be a model, and a
Yeah.
glamour model at that too.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of meant, I think. You understood me, didn't you? Right, let's move on from cost of living crisis.
Oh, dear. Oh, one thing that I am doing is with our soup. Okay, we have tinned soup occasionally. I make soup in the Instant Pot regularly. But sometimes if I'm at my desk, particularly if it's a Monday, Tuesday, which are my solid work days usually, if I don't have time or we don't have some that is already made or some in the freezer, I will use a tin that we get. We get a nice lentil soup in a tin from Lidl.
Will you be using a tin, Paul? A tin of soup? Is that a tin of soup?
A tin of soup.
Are you sure it's a tin of soup?
What did I say?
You said tin of soup and you said it 3 times.
Did I? Oh, right. Well, I'm using a tin of soup. Lentil soup in a tin of lentil soup. And I add to it, what's the word? Not subsidise. Anyway, I pad it out because I put red lentils with water, cook those, and then I add the tin of soup to those red lentils, which have gone all soft by that point, and it just pads out a tin of soup. So yeah, I do that quite often now. We're going to have that for lunch today, actually.
With leftovers from last night, or are we having the leftovers for dinner?
I made a really nice black bean and vegetable stew last night, which was mainly vegetables from the plot. And we've got leftovers for that, so we'll have that this evening with rice.
Oh, good. So that's sorted.
Easy
Lovely.
day cooking today.
Well, you know, cooking these days is fairly simple. You know, we've stopped using the oven, the cooker, the grill, with minimal usage. That microwave cooking is happening quite a lot. Instant pot cooking, those are the cheapest ways to do it. So yeah, you know.
I must try rice. Well, not must. I don't need to, but I think I will try rice in the Instant Pot again.
Yeah, why not?
Because last time I did it, it didn't quite work. I used the absorption method, which is basically what the Instant Pot does, but I use it on a gas flame on the hob, and I find 99 times out of 100 it works for me. But the Instant Pot I'll try with rice again. Yeah.
Depends on the time, doesn't it, really, that it takes to cook?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah. Good, Paul.
And also we use brown rice, and brown rice can be different from different supermarkets as well, and different outlets. Yeah, anyway.
Was that your tummy?
I think that was my tummy.
Oh. So,
There's also some banging going on.
all right, let's move the show on now. How was the working week? Because we're kind of back to normal now.
Yeah.
Having been on our travels.
Guernsey and Wales in October.
And Cheshire.
In Cheshire, yeah.
So we're kind of settling back to normal. I was back at work on Tuesday, having had Monday off, which I booked off. But I actually got an extra half day in this week.
Yeah, of work.
Of work, yeah. I was offered Wednesday afternoon because my colleague was not able to work, so I took it. So I'm hoping to get a few extra hours here and there, which is very much needed at the moment. Some extra money.
Mm-hmm. And I went to For Her Sake and had a full day there on Tuesday.
But you were delayed, Paul.
I was delayed.
By the Just Stop Oil.
Yeah,
people.
I was.
Now, how do you feel about this?
Fine. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I wasn't. I was delayed, but I wasn't delayed that much.
No, and you weren't in an ambulance waiting to get to a hospital for life-changing surgery.
No, which most people aren't.
Life-threatening surgery.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not life-threatening. Life-saving surgery.
Life-saving surgery.
Yeah.
One of those things.
So yeah, the junction that I get on the M25 at was fine, but then past that it wasn't, or before I got on it wasn't, and then the junction I get off at, past that it wasn't. So I was delayed time-wise, but not significantly.
Yeah, but you know, it's only a matter of time until one of these protesters gets seriously hurt or kills themselves.
Yeah.
And then it's going to make no difference whatsoever. And they will have lost their life, and they will basically be accused of criminality, and it won't do the cause any good.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a difficult one because
the message of their cause, which we agree with, you know, stop the new licenses for drilling for oil and
80
gas.
80 new licenses.
130.
130, is it?
Stop those. They need to stop. But the problem is the message is getting lost because of the protesters doing the things they're doing. So people just get focused on the fact that their journeys are being disrupted, rather than the fact that in 20 years' time their lives will be disrupted by climate change. So, people, I think they need to take a new approach.
It's not even 20 years' time. I mean, I'm genuinely surprised each time someone tells me that they're going to have another baby. Because if I wouldn't want to be anybody bringing a child into the world we've got at the moment, because I just don't think it's going to be livable. By the time that child that is born today is my age, they'll be roasting.
Well, as that journalist said on Question Time last week, what are you going on about? It's just weather. It's just weather. Weather happens. Yeah, that's true. But, weather that you can't live in is another matter for prolonged periods. I mean, half of Pakistan was underwater, wasn't it?
But yeah, I mean,
Hello.
my thing is...
Wake up.
And I also think that the protests are being exacerbated because of the crackdown in the UK by the UK government of protesting peacefully.
Yeah.
I think the government is fully to blame, actually.
The Home Office would criminalise protesting full stop if it was left up to Sue Ellen.
Yeah. I mean, we Hertfordshire Police arrested 3 journalists. 3 working journalists were arrested. One had his home. Police went and searched his home as well, and his family didn't know where he was. And then at 11 o'clock at night, police turn up on the doorstep. I mean, that's appalling when you're a journalist. And that's your job.
Because he was protesting.
No, because he was reporting on the protest.
Right. Okay.
He was taking photographs. He was a freelance photographer. Ludicrous. Anyway, anywho.
So, you went to Vanessa.
Had a really good time there.
If you don't know who we're talking about, if you're new to the channel, Vanessa is the
founder and owner
of a business called For Earth's Sake, which is a plastic-free shop in Cranley in Surrey that Paul has been involved in from the beginning. And if you want to see more, have a look at these videos, this little documentary that we did when the store started.
So we had a good day there, planning, strategizing, and also there's an event that we did last month as a tryout, and it's basically cooking over open fires in around Vanessa's property, and using her ancient barn as a sort of seating area for a long table that it's got it's festooned with flowers and obviously crockery and cutlery and glasses, just lovely. And we're doing another one in December, which is focusing really around Christmas. But I was writing the copy for it yesterday, and I thought, well, I quite fancy that. But we've got a prior engagement that day, so we can't go. But they're doing one. Well, we're doing one each season from now on. So spring, summer, autumn, winter, starting with Christmas. For winter.
Good.
But and then I was baubles. I had baubles put on me. Parachuting Santa Claus used as earrings, and the photo was taken. So if you want to see that, you need to have a look on Planet Vegetaria.
That's Planet Vegetaria, a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. Richard and Paul since 2017. That's contractual. Good, Paul. Let's move on, shall we? You had your Bonfire social.
We did.
So if you're not from the UK and you don't know what all the fuss is about bonfires and things in the UK, we have Bonfire Night, which is the 5th of November, which I think I've said before celebrates the attempted gunpowder plot by Guy Fawkes to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
I think it celebrates the stopping of Guy Fawkes's.
That's what I
plot.
said, didn't I?
No, you said it celebrates him doing it.
Oh, well.
But yeah.
If somebody did that today, it certainly would be celebrated.
Yes, but we do
We
not
don't
want to incite
violence.
No.
Oh.
So yeah, we had our bonfire social, and it was just lovely because I think particularly because there was quite a lot of anxiety through the day because it was absolutely chucking it down. So we had a working party in the morning which got postponed to the afternoon because the weather app said that from 2:00 it would be drier. Actually, it was just wet. But we got everything ready. We got gazebos out, got ready for the evening. The bonfire had already been built and tarpaulin wrapped around it. And I must say, I didn't expect very many people to turn up because it was so wet. And actually, loads of people turned up from the plots, from the site. And it was a great, great evening. And I think the last people left about 12:30. There was cider, which had been made from apples from the cider orchard on the site. Somebody else had made 2 types of red wine from the grapes that they grow. Another person had brought a whole keg of artisan beer from a beer festival in Manchester that he was attending a few days before, so he brought that. So then obviously people brought bottles of wine and soft drinks and food. There were barbecues, one veggie, one for carnivores. Yeah, it was a great, great evening. So, and the rain stayed off. The rain stayed off, which was brilliant. Wasn't it?
I stayed off too.
He did.
I don't go to these things.
No, well, it's sort of...
It's your thing.
Yeah.
It's your thing, Paul. I wouldn't expect you to turn up at my workplace and sit there trying to make friends with my colleagues. No.
Well, you don't make friends with them, do you?
Barely.
No.
I don't go out with my colleagues. I have a rule. I don't socialise with colleagues at work. Full stop.
You don't socialise with colleagues out of work.
Out of work, sorry.
Full stop.
Colleagues at work outside of work. No,
Yeah.
no way. I've got myself into too many scrapes over the years because me and alcohol, we don't really mix very well. I get a little bit outrageous on alcohol and I start telling people what I really think of them. Yeah, I do. I can't help it. I've always been that way. I've always been very honest.
When you're drunk?
Yeah. No, full stop. I've always been an honest person.
Oh, no.
If I think your hair looks like a bag of spanners, I'll tell you. Paul? No, I always have. I've always been brutally honest, and sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes tits up.
Yeah. It's the second time we've mentioned boobies today. Boobies.
Gazebo. I like that word, gazebo.
Somebody said gazonkas the other day.
Gazongas.
No, gazonkas.
Bazongas.
And I said, isn't it bazookas?
Bazongas.
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 Oh,
We used to call boobs busters when we were kids.
Isn't there a...
Busters.
Oh no, Hooters. That's in America, isn't it? Hooters. Yeah. I have seen a Hooters. I've not been in one.
No,
but I've seen a
not.
Hooters when we've been travelling around America.
Anyway,
I'm not that doing
travelling around America.
Yeah, it sounds as though we're doing that all the time.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was.
La la chakalaka. Okay, so let's
Chakalaka
get to the
sham.
end of the show now, which is what have we watched?
Bye!
Yeah.
Oh, right.
What have we
we're not
watched on
there.
television this week? My feet are frozen.
Oh, who can't go? Whoa.
No, literally, I don't think I can actually. It's really affecting my mental health.
Yeah. Maybe it's affecting your sight. Maybe it's nothing to do with the glasses.
Oh, shut up, Paul. No, you know when you're distracted, it's like when your hands are really cold, it just distracts you and my toes are frozen.
Why haven't you got thicker socks on?
Oh, pardon
What are
me.
you burping?
To apologise.
That's all the alcohol you've had today.
Yeah, I wish. Not really. I don't wish, because I don't like
Don't
alcohol.
like alcohol. But why don't you have... he's got his slippers on.
I've got my slippers on and I've got relatively warm socks, but I could do with stuffing my hand warmers into my slippers and warming my little pretty toes.
We've had this conversation about, can't you get her a big slipper? Heated big slipper.
No! Let's get on with the show. People are tuning off, turning off, dropping out.
Question time.
We watched Question Time. I fell asleep, went into a coma. It was so boring. We watched a couple of movies, didn't we?
We
watched
did.
Solo.
I
which is
really
a
enjoyed it.
Star Wars story. It's the story of Han Solo. It's his backstory. We both really enjoyed it. It felt like a Star Wars film, and it felt like a more sort of traditional Star Wars film.
It did.
The pace was slower than the new
Bang, 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 bang.
crazy films.
It was directed by Ron Howard, which we didn't know until...
I think I knew.
I didn't know until it ran the titles at the end. And I went, that's why, someone who was a fan of the original
it was
has
good.
lived with Star Wars all his life. And then, great.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it too. So, recommended for Star Wars fans. We watched Enola Holmes 2.
Well, we've started watching
Well, we watched
Enola
most of
Holmes
it.
2. No, we didn't. I think we got
God,
about another
really? There
hour
was
and a half to
more?
go. Yeah.
No. I really... Okay, I'll tell you what my problem is. My issue with the film. It's very heavily edited. So it's fast, fast edits, fast cuts. It's intercut with these sort of cartoony, sketchy bits. Alexa, please stop. And the direction clearly needs to be very tight. The action needs to be tight. But all I see is her being given direction.
Yeah.
Now look this way and say the line.
Lift your eyebrow.
Look surprised and say the line. Because it's all so quick. There's very few scenes of length, which starts to make it feel a bit tiring. And even though it's meant to make you feel excited, it doesn't, because it feels very samey. I think Henry Cavill, frankly...
You're not a fan of Henry Cavill.
I'm not a fan.
No.
I think he's gorgeous to look at. He has a beautiful face and lovely physique. But that's it.
Am I your Henry Cavill?
You're my Henry Cavill, boy. Well, you're from the same part of the world.
Yeah, we are.
He's from Jersey, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from across the water.
So I find him very wooden. I don't see a character there at all. Millie Bobby Brown, I think, is a lovely actress. I think she comes across as genuine as she can do under such heavy direction, which it must be because it's so tight.
But you don't feel that there's any real freedom in the character.
No, there's no room for manoeuvre.
And it feels as though it's been storyboarded to hell.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's how it feels.
This is a 2-second scene. This is a 3.2 second scene.
Yeah.
This is a 10.8 second scene. And that's what it feels like.
It feels constricted. Her character feels constricted. Especially when it's meant to be a strong young female role at a time when strong young females didn't exist in society or weren't allowed to exist in society. And it touches on that, which is good.
Yeah.
But again, the nuances of the character don't seem to be there.
And it's interesting because I think what it makes happen is it makes the ancillary characters far more interesting. I think Lestrade, he's he's great. And of course there's, what's her name? The mother? Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, she's interesting as well.
She's really interesting. And it just feels as though the direction around Enola particularly has just been too tight, too constricted.
We've said that.
I know, but I'm saying
so. We'll move on. So,
today.
out of 10 for me, 5.
Out of 10 for me, 6.
Whereas Solo was a 10.
Yeah. Will you watch the rest of Enola Holmes?
No, not bothered.
He's not bothered.
Don't care.
Not bothered.
Does my face look bothered? I'm not bothered.
Not usually, no.
Okay, we started the new season of What We Do in the Shadows on Disney Plus for us. We chose to watch it there, which of course is
loving
great,
it.
but it's just is setting us up because there's things we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to how Colin Robinson develops.
Colin Robinson's baby, even though he's not.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Good as ever.
I'd like to go back to the beginning and watch it again.
Yeah, why not? We should do. We also watched, just to round up, a documentary on the actress Wendy Craig. So for those of you who are not familiar, she's a British actress who sort of rose to television fame in the late 60s with a set of sitcoms that she starred in, and then rose even higher in the late 70s and early 80s with a show called Butterflies, which was very popular, which was basically the story of a frustrated housewife who felt trapped in her marriage, a slave to the home and her children, and it was her story of how she potentially started having an affair to spice her life up. But
she meets a man
she
in
didn't
the park.
actually have an affair.
No.
But yeah, and it was very funny, and she was also a disaster in the kitchen as well, which
her
that character was famous for. So we saw a documentary about her, which was fun. She's still alive.
And I think that's what made the documentary different, because
Yeah.
so often we're watching these documentaries and people are talking about an actor who has died, where she was there 88 talking about these programs, talking about her life. Many Americans may know her from Nanny, which she did later on, because I know that went more international than the sitcoms that she did. But it was just lovely listening to her, and I won't give up acting. You get a feeling if something came around today, she'd go, oh yeah, I like it, I'll do it. If she doesn't like it, she wouldn't. But yeah, it was just really good.
That was fun. That was fun. So yeah, that's our week for you. Yeah, so it's time to say goodbye now and have some warming food and to get my toes warmed.
You're not going to put those in the soup, though?
No, Paul.
No.
Bye for now. Take care. Tout le au revoir. Thank you. Thank you. Remember to subscribe.
Bye.